So a couple videos ago, I made a video of where we were at after 6 rounds in the 450 championship. I liked it. A lot of you guys seemed to like it. So I decided I was going to do the same thing for 250 East. So all this data is going to be a bit different than the 450s because 6 rounds in a 450 championship is about a third of the way through, where 7 rounds for the 250 East championship, there's only 2 rounds left. So less than a fourth of the championship is left. So obviously this data is going to be a lot different. So first off, I just have the current 250 East championship and everybody's average finishes so we can compare it to previous. Obviously, Colt Nichols is winning with an average finish of 1.86, which that's better than any of the 450 riders right now. And if you compare it to previous championships, you can only do 2009 till now, because before 2009, there was only 7 rounds in the 250 East championship. But we can use 2009 to 20 to compare. And what I found is that 9 times out of 12, winner after 7 rounds wins the championship, which is actually pretty surprising to me that there's even 3 riders that didn't, which in my eyes shows that 250 riders but every once in a while they kind of throw it away towards the end of the championship because there's only 2 rounds left. It's less than a fourth of the championship. It seems like whoever's winning at this point should end up winning the championship, but that's not the case. And even their average finishes are almost the same year to year. The average finish for riders that ended up winning the championship was 2.1, 2.13, whatever. And the riders that didn't win the championship was 2.19. So virtually identical. Okay, and then like last time, I have the first to win 2 times wins the championship and the first to win 3 times winning the championship. I did from 85 to 2020, not 74 this time because there wasn't a 125 class until 85. And then I also did 2003 to 2020, just like I did in the other one. What I found is actually flipped from the 450s, that if you include all of the data from 85 to 2020, that actually there's a higher chance of winning the championship if you were the first person to win 2 times or 3 times compared to 2003 to 2020. That's opposite of the 450 class. In the big bike class during the 80s, which technically isn't the 450 class, but the competition was ridiculous, and I guess with the 125 250 class it wasn't. It's been more competitive more recently, which is pretty crazy. Not only that, but the chance to win from 85 to 2020, the chance to win by winning 2 times versus 3 times is the exact same, 80.56%. Weird. And you would think that the first to win 3 times would have a higher chance of winning the championship more recently from 2003 to 20, but that's not the case. You actually have a higher chance of winning if you were the first to win 2 times. That's weird. That is super weird to me, which I guess that maybe ties into people throwing it away towards the end of the championship because they were dominant. I don't know where that comes from, but that's pretty weird. Okay, and then just like last time, I also did passes. So same thing, I did 2016 to 2020 just to see where passes line up historically and then comparing it to this year so far. In the 450 class, it seemed like the more passes you made, the higher chance you had of being the top guy. And that is still kind of the case with 250s. It was like 2016, Malcolm Stewart won the championship, and after 7 rounds, he only had 9 passes total. And I think that just comes down to him having a better first lap than everybody else, putting himself in a good position right at the beginning of the race so he didn't have to pass as many people as everybody else did. But then, obviously, 2017, 18, and 20, the rider that passed the most people ended up winning the championship. But then again in 2019, Sexton won the championship with 15 passes. I guess you could say that this is the championship that Forkner threw it away, and you can kind of see that in the first 7 rounds. He actually got past more than he passed, but if you look at his just average position after the first lap and at the end of the race, his average first lap was 1.2 and his average finish was 1.3. So he was pretty much just getting the whole shot most of the time and winning. But those two, 2019 and 2016, showed that you don't have to pass the most guys to win the championship. And so far, Josh Osby actually has the most amount of passes. Shimoda is second and Nichols is third. Nichols is winning the championship. So yeah, passes, it's an interesting metric, but it doesn't mean much when it comes to the championship, actually. Camera died, sorry. And then finally we have lap time data, again, from 2015 to 2020. With the 450s and the lap time, it seemed like the average and the fastest lap time compared to everybody, it did actually mean quite a bit. If somebody after 6 rounds was the fastest rider, more often than not, they ended up winning the championship, and it's no different with the 250s. And it actually, there's an even higher correlation with the 250s. With the 250s class, however, there was only one instance where the fastest rider after 7 rounds did not end up winning the championship, and that's Joey Savaggi in 2017. He had the fastest average lap time after 7 rounds, and he did not end up winning the championship. Osborne that year had the fastest average time, if that makes sense. He ended up winning the championship. So whoever is the fastest, meaning fastest lap times, the average of those, from 2015 to 2020, that person ended up winning the championship every single year. And when it comes to taking every single lap time, averaging it, and then viewing those, there's only one person that did not end up winning the championship, and that's Joey Savaggi. So lap time for 250s seems to be a very good metric to estimate who will end up winning after 7 rounds. Again, with the 450s, we're only a third of the way through the championship, and now 7 rounds done, 250 East, we're more than 3/4 of the way done. So obviously it's going to be able to predict it better than the 450s did. Again, this is kind of hard to get my thoughts out with all of this. Hopefully it made at least somewhat sense. I enjoyed doing the last one. I enjoyed doing this one. It was a lot of work, but I hope you guys enjoyed it too. And I'll keep updating this as the year goes on, I guess, especially with 450s. I'll try to do it when we're halfway through and then 2/3 of the way through, and see how the numbers end up stacking up for the championship. So yeah, lap times, pretty interesting. I guess I got to say real quick, 2019 Forkner's lap times aren't in there because he had some DNFs, and you can't use lap times from DNFs to compare to the other riders because it just won't work. So that's probably one instance, again, that the fastest rider did not win the championship, but we can't compare it because he didn't make it 7 rounds. Anyways, yeah, hope this was interesting to you, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.